So, who are you backing in the Tory leadership race?
So I haven't actually decided yet. I was backing Priti Patel, but I announced I was backing her, and then less than 24 hours after she got eliminated. I'm currently between Kemi or Robert. I think there's good things about them both, but there's some things that they need to work on. I think Kemi needs to be slightly more approachable, but I also question Robert. He's saying a lot of the right things now, but where was this for the last however many years?
I'm backing Robert Jenrick at this moment in time. Obviously, as a member, I don't know whether I'll get the chance to vote for him in the final two, but for the time being, that's where my money is.
Why is it, in particular, you're backing Jenrick?
I think that as a slightly younger candidate, as a sort of a really authentic Conservative candidate, he's the person who can bring the party together and also target those voters that we lost to Reform in the last general election, and that's what's going to take us closer to getting back into number 10 and getting back into government at the next general election.
I'm trying to keep my mind open on all this, but at the moment I'm inclining towards Rob Jenrick.
And why Robert?
Well, I think first of all, there are a number of areas where perhaps we failed when we were in government, and I think he's coming up with a number of the solutions. And part of it is not just to do with housing, not just to do with the NHS, which he's addressing, but also the European Convention of Human Rights, which has caused so much problems with the Rwanda programme, and indeed with terrorists whom we've tried to get out of the country.
I'm torn between Cleverly and Tom at the moment.
Yeah.
I think they're both brilliant people. They've both got good track records. Cleverly has got a very clean track record, which I think is useful to gain back the trust of the British people.
I went into this conference very open-minded to take a look at all the candidates, and I think between Tom and Cleverly were the top two, but I think after seeing Cleverly speak today, he has definitely pushed me more towards voting for him.
I think Robert has got the best sense of the four candidates of kind of the depth of the difficulty we're in as a party and what needs to be done about it. We're obviously in a very difficult position. We need to recover ourselves. Robert is a man of principle. He resigned on a point of principle. He's got a sense of what needs to be done to reconnect with the electorate, and so that's why I'm supporting him.
I'll tell you who I'm not backing is Robert Jenrick. I'd consider myself a One Nation liberal Conservative. So I'm looking for a broad church approach. So my top two would be Tugendhat and Cleverly.
And you're going to wait to the end of the conference and see what you hear and then make a decision?
We've got no say until we know come down to the last two. So we're going to hear the arguments, but I know my leanings. And when Jenrick says out to the ECHR, not for me, that's the wrong direction. When he says he's backing somebody like Trump, it's sort of, are you insane? So I'm looking for somebody who's looking for a positive direction, pro-business, pro-the economy, and a liberal approach that suits our country, not all of this, not chasing after, as I call him, the Pied Piper of Clacton.
If it was up to me, I'm quite a pragmatist. I'd actually make a deal with Reform in certain seats where we'd stand down in some of the northern ones that we're never going to win, and then maybe they could stand down in some of those kind of right-wing seats that they're not going to win. So I think we should actually consider maybe doing a pact with them, an electoral pact, and that would definitely see off the Reform. If not, we're going to be stuck in this rut of a Keir Starmer government, which has been a disaster.
Do you think he can see off the threat from Nigel Farage?
Yeah, I do actually, because I think he's that sort of fresh thinker, that voice of the next generation that will actually highlight that Nigel Farage is a bit of a dinosaur, is someone who's not particularly in tune with modern Britain.
We can't win elections if we're divided on the right, so we need to find a solution to that problem. I think we should become a properly Conservative party once again that is attractive to the kind of voters who left us for the Reform Party. That's not the only thing we need to do, but I don't see how we can hope to win if we don't bring back Reform into the home.
At the end of the day, we've got to come up with policies that are actually appealing to all those people who voted Reform partly just to get rid of the Tories.